Buongiorno, welcome back to my channel. Today I decided to do something new and fun, at least for me. So I decided to take 35 fragrance brands, fragrance houses, and tell you my favorite perfume of each brand. So only one perfume from each brand. I had this idea long time ago. I think it was almost when I started my channel, and as usual I wanted to do everything perfect, so I waited. No, I want to add this brand and this brand, and now I just decided I have to do it, and that's it. So we are talking about 35 brands, and these will include both designer and niche, as well as private collection from designer houses. So if you want to know my favorite perfume from each brand, then please keep on watching. But before we start, if you're new to my channel, hi, welcome. My name is Noura, and on this channel I mostly talk about fragrances. So if you are a fragrance lover, then please consider subscribing and also hit the notification bell so you will get notified when I upload any new video. Also follow me on Instagram, where I post some exclusive content that I don't do here on YouTube. And without further ado, let's start. You will find a lot of brands missing in this video, and this is because I chose only brands that I know at least 90% of their fragrances. So let's start, and I am going to do it in an alphabetical order, and I'm so happy that the first brand that came up is ACQUA di Parma. This is my favorite Italian brand and one of my favorite niche brands, and it was quite difficult to choose one fragrance. So I decided to pick my favorite collection and then my favorite perfume from that collection. So of course my favorite collection of ACQUA di Parma is Blue Mediterraneo. I have a full buying guide on this range. You will find it in the description down below. I will also leave it in the eye up here, and it's all these natural smelling Italian coast-like fragrances. And my favorite is Arancia di Capri. I know I feature this perfume quite a lot on my channel because I really love the scent, and it's all about oranges. So this is a predominantly orange fragrance that smells so natural. I have quite a collection of orange fragrances, but there is something always in ACQUA di Parma that always draws me in, and that is the extreme natural smelling vibe that they have. Absolutely perfect. Not that it smells like an orange, like an authentic orange. No, it's definitely more complex. It's a little bit aromatic, but it's so beautiful. I love to wear it during summer. It's just so refreshing and beautiful. So if you love oranges, you love natural smelling fragrances, then Arancia di Capri is for you. Again, check my buying guide on the whole range in the description down below. Next we have Amouage, and I almost tested 95% of Amouage fragrances, and I have to admit this is one of the brands that did not work out for me. They are a little bit challenging, but they have a collection that is definitely for everybody, at least in my opinion. I don't remember the name. I will write it down below. Most of them I actually like, but if I have to choose my favorites from Amouage, it will definitely be Honor. This is mainly Gardenia in a bottle. This is the perfect wedding scent. It's so beautiful and spring-like, white and innocent and just lovely. It's an amazing scent, and it's the only Amouage that I have, and it's for a reason, because oh my god, the scent is just stunning. I love it. If you love Gardenia, you definitely have to check this fragrance. It's the best Gardenia fragrance, and I have tested quite a lot of Gardenia fragrances. This is the best. It's not too green, it's not too sweet. It is a little bit on the indolic side, but not too much. To me, this is perfection, like the perfect Gardenia fragrance. Of course, amouage fragrances have an amazing lasting power, so you don't have to worry about that. Highly recommend, especially for a wedding fragrance. Next is Armani fragrances, and I have to admit that when it comes to the regular line, I am not a fan. Some scents are good, but I don't own any of Armani fragrances that are from the regular line. If I have to choose one, it will be C Intense that came out last year, and it's sweet and an intense version of the C range. But I absolutely love the Armani PRIVEE line, so their private collection. This collection is absolutely stunning. Fragrances from this collection, and I have 2 others that are on my wish list. And it was quite difficult for me to choose, also because they have quite a variety. But at the end, I went with Amber Eccentrico. I know all of you expected Pivot Suzu, and it was definitely between this one and Pivot Suzu. But I decided to go with this one because it's also objectively one of their best creations. So Amber Eccentrico is all about amber. It's spicy and warm and addictive and extremely long lasting and extremely projecting. Definitely a winter fragrance. Oh, it's just stunning. Rarely talked about on YouTube. I feel like nobody talks about this fragrance. Oh, they all talk about Rouge, Malachite, Magenta Tanzanite sometimes now since that came out. Also Rose d'Arabie, but no one talks about this one, and it's definitely worth to check it. If you love spicy fragrances, you love amber, warm fragrances, you have to check this one. Highly recommend Amber Eccentrico from Armani. Next we have Atelier Cologne, and I was debating if I should include it or not because they have so many fragrances, and I smelled, I have to admit, almost 80% of them, so not all of them, but I still decided to include this brand because the ones that I didn't smell are mostly fragrances that are not exactly what this house is famous for. So Atelier Cologne is famous for making cologne absolu, or a little bit of an intense version of a cologne. So these are fresh summer fragrances in general. They do have other scents that do not enter in this category, and I've tested some of them, but I find that this brand shines more in like their fresh citrusy summer fragrances. I decided to go with Love Osmanthus, and this is quite a sweeter, elevated version of Light Blue from Dolce & Gabbana. I know it's called Love Osmanthus and there is Osmanthus in the notes. I personally almost can't get it. It's really in the background. To me, it's more of this woody, a little bit aquatic feeling, some fruitiness and some floral, and it works beautifully during summer. I absolutely love it. I drench myself in this fragrance during summer. I totally obsessed with it, and since actually I bought this one, I hardly touch my light blue, and that says a lot because I really like that fragrance. So if you are looking for an elevated version of light blue, then Love Osmanthus is definitely for you. And by the way, I have a buying guide on Atelier Cologne. Again, you will find it in the description down below and in the eye up here. If you want to know more about the brand, I highly recommend it because I also go through the alternatives, because unfortunately Atelier Cologne pulled out North America. So if you love that brand and you want to find an alternative of your favorite scent, so definitely check that video. Next is another famous niche brand that is mostly famous for its packaging, but I'm telling you, their scents are amazing, and I'm talking about Atelier des Ors. Now this is a brand that is not exactly beginner friendly for the niche world, but they do have some scents that is definitely a beautiful introduction into niche world. My favorite is absolutely this one. This is Rouge SARAY. This fragrance is absolutely stunning. It's one of my favorites in my collection. I featured it in my best Gourmands, my best 14 fragrances in my collection, my 10 for life. I mean, this for me is a fragrance that I absolutely can't live without. Absolutely stunning. Love it, love it, love it. It's mostly guaiac, so this woody base mixed with gourmand notes of dates and plum. So it's sweet, but the guaiac wood, the smokiness that comes from the guaiac wood definitely lifts it up. Beautiful winter cozy scent that I have no words for how absolutely stunning this fragrance is. I have a full review on it, so if you want more details, check the description. I also have a buying guide on the whole Atelier des Ors. Also check it in the description down below. I mean, this brand has a lot of beautiful scents, but if I have to choose only one, it will definitely be Rouge SARAY. Next, we have a brand that I did a buying guide. It was one of my absolute first buying guides on my channel, and that is BDK. And the one that I chose is Pas Ce Soir. Now, Pas Ce Soir is this extremely sweet, I'm not going to lie, it's very sweet, fruity, sexy fragrance, which is quite unique because the name of the fragrance actually means not tonight. But this is a fragrance that you would wear on a date night, you know. Yeah, definitely a date night sexy fragrance. There is quince in the notes, and it's just one of these fruity, sexy, sweet fragrances that will not fail you. This is one of these seduction in a bottle kind of fragrances. Highly recommend it if you love sweet, fruity fragrances, sexy fragrances, then Pas Ce Soir is definitely for you. Next, we have Chanel, and of course, my favorite Chanel is my beloved Chanel Coco Eau de Parfum. This fragrance is just stunning. Definitely on the mature side, I'm not going to lie to you. It's definitely a mature scent. This is so good. The best Chanel fragrance ever made. It's so elegant and so deep and mysterious in a way. It's spicy, there is a lot of cloves, a little bit fruity and floral, and I have no words to describe this fragrance. Just stunning, 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 stunning. I said it before, if I have to choose only one fragrance for my life, this is the one. This is just perfection in a bottle. It's so good, so good, and it's one of these fragrances that represent me in a way, and definitely a fragrance that I can't live without. Highly recommend it. Coco Eau de Parfum from Chanel. Next we have Chloe, and of course I went with the Nomade line. Now Chloe in general I don't like very much, but the Nomade line is definitely an exception, and it was quite difficult for me to choose one, but at the end I chose actually the Eau de Toilette. So this is Nomade Eau de Toilette, and this is this cheaper style fragrance that has a lot of oak moss. It has also Mirabelle, so it's a little bit sweet. It's kind of a modern take on cheaper. I have also the Eau de Parfum, but there is something about the Eau de Toilette that I definitely prefer because of this bright opening. But all of the three, the Absolu, the Eau de Parfum, the Eau de Toilette, are definitely one of the most unique designer fragrances on the market. You definitely have to love cheaper style fragrances, so you have to be okay with oak moss. But even if you don't, give it a chance and try especially the Eau de Toilette if you don't like oak moss, because this is the one that, I mean, the oak moss is a little bit toned down. It's not so predominant like the other two, and it's a little bit brighter and has more of the sweetness from the Mirabelle. So give this one a try. I have a review on the whole line. You can find it again in the description. Next we have Christian Louboutin. I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly. And the one that I chose is Loubi Rouge. And if you have watched my review on the Christian Louboutin fragrances, I find their fragrances a little bit overhyped in a way and also overpriced. You mostly pay for the packaging. However, if I have to choose one, it will definitely be Loubi Rouge, because it's the most unique one, and it's mostly vanilla, iris and cardamom, and it's a very elegant fragrance that I highly recommend if you love this spicy vanilla or you love iris, and this is definitely a fragrance for you. However, they'll never pay the full price. I mean, full price is too much for what this fragrance is, in my opinion. Although I love it, as you can see, I got it with an amazing discount. If you can find it on discount, get it. Otherwise, in my personal opinion, it's not worth like the original price. Next we have Dior, and this is one of the brands that I really struggled to find my favorite from them. And from their regular line, I at the end decided to go with Pure Poison. And this is just a stunning jasmine fragrance. I have a lot of favorite fragrances from Dior, but recently I used a lot of Pure Poison, so I may change my mind in the future. For now, it's Pure Poison. As I said, this is a very fresh, sexy, in a subtle way jasmine fragrance. The picture of the woman that wears this fragrance, or the girl that wears this fragrance, is extremely seductive, but not in a flashy kind of a way. It's her femininity that is so seductive in her. Yeah, I know, it's very difficult to explain it. I have an image in my mind, but I can't describe it. Extremely beautiful fragrance, and one of the best jasmine fragrances. Now, from the private collection from Dior, again, was quite difficult. And it was between this one and Gris Dior, but at the end I went with Vanilla Diorama. And this is a very beautiful gourmand fragrance. There is vanilla, a little bit of this orange feel to it. It has cardamom, and it's sweet but not too much. Very cozy and enveloping fragrance. And it's one of my favorite vanilla fragrances and one of my favorite gourmands. And it's a gourmand that I would also recommend for those who don't love gourmand fragrances, because to me it's quite unique and beautifully balanced vanilla spicy fragrance. Absolutely stunning. Again, have a review on it. You can check it in the description down below for more details. Next we have Dolce & Gabbana, and honestly it's not my favorite brand, but they do have one stunning fragrance. So I went with Light Blue Intense. This is much fresher and less sweet than the original one, and it's just stunning. For the longest time, I didn't get the hype behind this fragrance, to be completely honest. And I actually bought it for the hype. But since then, I can't live without it. For some reason, there is something about it that is so unique and different to others, also from the same category. Yeah, it just fills a void in my collection that no other fragrance can fill. And I'm talking about the intense version. Love it. It has this aquatic feeling, fresh. It's a little bit fruity. There is Granny Smith apple. It's musky, but it's just this quintessential fragrance that you definitely have to have in your collection. It's a must-have in my opinion. So this is Light Blue Intense. Next we have Givenchy, and of course I selected a perfume from their L'Interdit line. So as you all know, my favorite one is L'Interdit Rouge. Now all the L'Interdit line is actually a beautiful line. Again, I have a review on the whole line. You will find it in the description. My favorite one is definitely the Rouge. It's the original DNA mixed with a little bit of spiciness and warmth. This fragrance smells like the bottle. It's this very sexy, confident red dress mood, you know? Love, love, love L'Interdit Rouge. The intense version is also a favorite of mine, but I definitely prefer the Rouge to the intense. Next is Guerlain. And I know Guerlain has so many stunning fragrances, but I had to go with this one. Mandarine Basilic from the ACQUA Liguria line. Now the ACQUA Liguria line in general is, it's one of my favorite lines in general, and this is my favorite. This is actually my favorite fresh citrusy fragrance. If I have to choose only one, it will be this one in general. Not only this brand, not only Guerlain, but all brands in general. And that says a lot because I love this category of fragrances. And this is a beautiful, fresh, aromatic mandarin fragrance. This is the most refreshing fragrance in my collection. I absolutely can't live without it during summer. It's a lifesaver. Just try it, especially when it's hot. Go and try this fragrance. You will not regret it. Next, we have Goldfield and Banks. I'm not going to repeat myself when I say I have a buying guide or I have a review. Always check the description for more details. And my favorite one is Bohemian Lime. Now, it was quite difficult for me to choose between Bohemian Lime and Wood Fusion, but at the end I went with this one. It's just a stunning, fresh lime fragrance. Very, very, very unique. So main note here is Australian finger lime. I never smelled finger lime, so I don't know if this is why this fragrance is so unique, or is it the fragrance itself, how it is blended. It has a little bit of sandalwood, vetiver, cedar, so it has this woody base, but the freshness stays till the end. And actually, for a fresh fragrance, it has an amazing longevity and sillage. And the sillage on this one, stunning. Next, we have Initio Parfum Privé, a brand that is the brand if you love very loud, seductive, unique fragrances. And it was very difficult to choose between these two, so Oud for Greatness and Blessed Baraka. But at the end I went with Blessed Baraka because Oud for Greatness is a little bit on the masculine side in my opinion, and this video is dedicated for women fragrances. And yeah, Blessed Baraka is definitely the one. This is sandalwood, ambery, little bit musky, spicy, very addictive, very captivating fragrance. Has the same vibe, not similar as Carlisle from Parfum de Marly. I don't know if I will upload it before this video. If I did, you will find it in the description. But if you are familiar with Carlisle, how this fragrance captivates you, especially the sillage, Blessed Baraka is the same. Amazing longevity and sillage. The sillage on this fragrance is just out of this world. It's beautiful, totally unisex, and extremely sexy in a captivating kind of a way. It's kind of this fragrance that makes you go closer to smell the person. And I absolutely love it. Highly, highly recommend Blessed Baraka from Initio. Next we have Jean Paul Gaultier, and of course my favorite one is La Belle. I'm so surprised that I love this fragrance as much as I do. It's a beautiful, sexy, fruity fragrance. Again, kind of a simplistic fragrance, but yet so beautiful, and the name is quite fitting. Men and women love this fragrance. You can't go wrong with it. Just an amazing scent. La Belle, Jean Paul Gaultier. Next we have Kayali, and my favorite one, shockingly, is vanilla. Usually I don't like sweet vanillas, like the vanilla used in baking, but there is something. Now I bought this one mainly for layering, and it works beautifully, but I found myself actually wearing it in a couple of cold days when it was a little bit cold. It's not really good in longevity and sillage, but there is something quite comforting about this fragrance. I don't know. So again, a very simplistic fragrance, but it just works. I think if you love sweet vanillas, you will definitely like vanilla from Kayali. Next we have Lancôme, and from their regular line I have only two fragrances. I struggle a little bit with the musk note in Lancôme, and from the two that I have, I went with Idole Aura. And this is the Idole DNA, so this musky rose, but with a heavy dose of vanilla and a little bit of salt. So it's one of these salted vanilla, but is quite refined. So the rose and the muskiness here really elevates this salty vanilla note. And although this one has musk, it's not very predominant, and this is why I like it so much. If you love salty vanilla fragrances and you want a refined version, then definitely check Idole Aura. And of course, from their private collection, it's not a shocker, Jasmins Marzipane. I know you must be tired of me mentioning this fragrance, but it is what it is. It's an amazing jasmine fragrance. Very sexy, very beautiful. It's just a stunning masterpiece in my opinion. I heard rumors that this one is going to be discontinued and I'm panicking. Really, this is the best jasmine fragrance. As you can see, I have a lot of jasmine fragrances. This is the best. A stunning, sexy jasmine fragrance that is quite loud. So it's not like Pure Poison from Dior, which is a little bit this subtle sexiness. No, this is really loud. This is I am here, look at me kind of a fragrance, but still sophisticated. Highly, highly recommended. Jasmins Marzipane. If it's true that it's going to be discontinued, I hope not, get yourself a bottle, because I am definitely getting myself some backup bottles, because this is a must-have for jasmine's lovers. Hands down, the best jasmine. Next we have Maison Margiela, and at first I went with By the Fireplace, and then I thought I actually don't own this fragrance, and it's not even on my wish list. I love it objectively as a fragrance, as from an artistic point of view, but I personally wouldn't wear this fragrance, so I went with the one that I actually love, and that is Beach Walk. And this is definitely this summer beach frangipani, a little bit of salty note, a little bit fresh, so you definitely get this tropical touch because of the frangipani, but you also get this beachy vibe because of the salty note. Something aquatic about it. It's very fresh, very light, not cloying at all. One of my favorite beachy tropical fragrances. And this is another fragrance that is on my wish list. So Beach Walk from Maison Margiela replica line. Next we have, I think, my favorite niche brand, and that is Memo. I absolutely love this brand. I have a full review on their fragrances. Again, check the description. My favorite is definitely African Leather. They have a lot of fragrances that I absolutely love, but there is something about African Leather. It's stunning, stunning, stunning. No one does leather like Memo. And here it's not very leathery. There is a lot of cardamom here, slightly aromatic. It does lean a little bit on the masculine side, but it's a stunning fragrance, just stunning. Highly, highly recommend it if you love spicy fragrances, especially cardamom and saffron. Definitely check African Leather. It's just an amazing scent and extremely sexy on a man, and has actually a very good performance. Next we have Narciso Rodriguez, and it took me a while to choose one, but at the end I went with Musc Noir Rose. I just can't. I love this fragrance so much. There is something about it that is so addictive. It's cozy and elegant and fresh and clean, but yet in a very sophisticated way. Narciso Rodriguez makes very elegant, sophisticated musk fragrances, and here it's again this musk, but there is rose, there is this fruity touch, sweet, slight sweetness, but not too much. Again, a well-balanced fragrance that works beautifully as a signature scent. I can wear this all year around, any occasion, any place. It works beautifully. Highly, highly recommend it. Narciso Rodriguez Musc Noir Rose. Let's get to Parfum de Marly, and my favorite fragrance from that brand is definitely Eau à Jeun. A beautiful gourmand, spicy, cinnamon, honey, delicious fragrance that is extremely yummy. Overdose of cinnamon here, and I love cinnamon. And the honey here is not sticky, it's very light and sweet, and it's just an amazing fragrance. with an amazing lasting power. Yes, it is targeted to men, but I definitely wear it myself. Actually, I find it a little bit leaning feminine. Of course, it's unisex, but to me it leans a little bit feminine, and highly recommend this one if you love gourmands or spicy cinnamon fragrances. This is definitely for you. And with that, I finished my list. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumb up and consider subscribing to my channel. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you will get notified when I upload any new video. Thanks a lot for watching and see you next time. Ciao!